Hey, how you doing? Okay, today I am going to look at a t-shirt again. So this is episode 3 of our quest to find the perfect t-shirt. So today I'm looking at the DUER 24-hour t-shirt. It's primarily cotton, which is one of the criteria that I set for my perfect t-shirt. It's going to be cotton based. This is a shirt that you're going to want to wear all day long. It's not for exercise, it's for going out, maybe wearing a sport coat over for business, or wearing it as just a t-shirt just to go do something casual. It's that type of t-shirt that I'm looking for, and it's going to be a combination, I think, of fabric weight, fabric blend, yarn, fiber blend, and just fit. And so there's some key elements there. And this is DUER. It's a 73% cotton, 22% tencel, 5% spandex. Tencel, like cotton, is a cellulose fiber. It's made from beech trees. They crush them into a pulp. They pull the cellulose out of the pulp and create it into a fiber. That's how you get tencel. It's part of the viscose groupings of fibers like modal, rayon, and those just called viscose. Also nylon's in there. And so anyways, we're going to look at this shirt today. It was $39 on I bought it on the DUER website. DUER is a Canadian company. I bought a large and an extra large, so we'll try both of them. This one is machine wash cold with like colors, do not bleach, tumble dry low, cool iron if needed. And I would imagine that with the spandex in the content, you're not going to need to cool iron these or have any problems, because usually spandex, it just wants to lay flat. You think of a rubber band, you can't crimp them. They spring open. So that's what this shirt's going to do. And even when you wear it, it's going to be a little bit more drapey. So the tencel is going to make it drapey, and it's going to make it cool to the touch. And then you combine in that spandex, and it's just going to add to that, maybe even cause the shirt to billow out around you a little bit, which I think will add to the comfort. But we'll give it a spin and see what we think. So these t-shirts that we're looking at, these are what we call circular knit. So they're knit fabric, so think of that like a continuous slip knot. Circular knit think of your socks or a sweater. You can grab a thread and it just unravels all the way around. So with a circular knit, when we use it for apparel in these cases, we make a big tube like a sock, but maybe it's going to be 30 or 40 inches wide. And we're going to slit that tube up the side and lay the fabric flat. So now we have flat fabric just like we would if it was a woven fabric. It does tend to have a skewing to it because remember, as that needle is going around with the yarn, making its knots, it's kind of sloping up like a screw. So now you're going to have that, if you can visualize in the shirt. I don't know if you can even see it in the one I'm wearing, but it'll always have that kind of slope to it. That's from a circular knit. The other type of knits that we can have is a warp knit, where warp knit, you actually knit going down, where you're making a series of knots and you're tying them into the neighbor as you go down. So you can get a vertical look to it, and you can actually do vertical stripes. Warp knit has a lot of limitations to it, especially the needles that used in warp knit tend to be very sharp in order to get the stitch correct, and so lighter yarns and even cottons tend to have a problem. It's more synthetic related in heavier type of fabrics, not the lighter weight, so not really t-shirt type of fabric. So anyways, we're going to analyze the construction of this shirt, and then we'll wear it all day long, and then I'll come back and sum things up. So let's take a look at it. First of all, I absolutely insist the shirts must have this heat seal label in the neck and not a sewn in label, because they've just proven to be so much more comfortable. There's really no need for the old type of label. And the label on the inside, on the side seam, here's your care content, here your washing instructions, your size and any other manufacturing information that they might want to put in. And I would even recommend that you cut this out, because I'll tell you, it scratches against your side. The fabric's treated with moisture wicking, which is important, because cotton left alone and Tencel, all your viscose or your cellulose based fibers will hold water. So yes, that's moisture wicking. You spill water on it, it's going to get absorbed. That's actually absorbency, which is a different test we perform. Wicking is it will actually draw the moisture up. So, or you put a drop and you should see it spread. And so cotton, Tencel, nylon, those type of things, they tend to want to hold on to moisture and not let go. Once you get it wet, they dry slowly. And what we want them is to dry quickly. You know, you sweat into a shirt, step in because it's hot, you step in the air conditioning, hopefully that's going to dry up quickly. You don't want to go around or if you spill on yourself, all those types of things. So moisture wicking, and also the process of evaporation where the moisture dries is cooling. So your shirt will stay much more comfortable if it has that on it, and this does. All right. Tape across the back of the neck, that's just common t-shirt construction. This covers that seam so it's not rubbing against your neck, and it also keeps the neckline stable so it doesn't get too stretched out. Typically we would take this all the way across the shoulder. In this case, for whatever reason, they ended it there and did not. Something that I would recommend if I was the product development person or technical designer, this tape go across the shoulder. It covers the stitching and the seam and makes it lay flat against the skin, and it's just a more comfortable look to the garment. You do have a top stitching on all the seams, so around the armhole, across the shoulder, even down the side seam. So all the seams are laying flat, although they're not flat lock seams. Your bottom hem is a single layer, which is what we like. You do have here where fabric is beyond the stitch line in the hem. I don't like that. That's kind of a sign of just not being careful on the sewer's part. It's very minimal, but it is consistent throughout the shirt. And since that machine should have a knife on it and should leave it perfectly lined up, either that's an old machine or it's not set up correctly. But I did notice it on the same stitching here on the hem sleeve where the fabric's going beyond the stitching, and you just don't want that. That is potential for irritation. It rolls up in t-shirt material especially. It causes bulkiness. Could, rub against your arm, rub against your body, leave marks after wash. If you do hit it with an iron, any type of little bump like that will also cause shine and fabric to shine. So anyways, overall though, nicely constructed garment. You can notice here the sleeve seam here is not under the arm, but it's actually towards the front. So when you wear it, I think that will be hidden, but it doesn't line up with the side seam because this is not a traditional sleeve. And I don't know if you could see it in the black, but it's actually a call-out DUER makes. It's a gusset. So typically our side seam would come straight up all the way, match up with the seam on the sleeve. In this case it doesn't. It's clean here under the arm. It's almost like a reversed raglan sleeve. A raglan sleeve wouldn't have a shoulder seam. This one, it doesn't have an underarm seam. It's a matter of just wearing it and let's see, but it's something interesting and unique to this garment. You have a good back neck drop here. It's a requirement, in proper design to have a back neck drop. The more you have, the lower it's going to ride up behind your head. Right? You have a pretty significant front neck drop as well. And this is what I find key to my comfort. When the shirt comes down low enough, it doesn't touch that sensitive part of your neck. Our neck opening is close to 7 1/4 inches. which to me that's a sweet spot. I know it's an extra large. I would like that even 7.5 to be on the large and grade up from there. Nevertheless, we have it. You have a pretty significant slope to your shoulder going down. So we'll see how that plays out. I would be concerned just from looking at it on a table that if I were to wear this and my shoulders don't slope that much, then there's going to be something, either it's going to pop up here or it's going to wrinkle there. But somewhere it's not going to just lay flat on my body. Now I tend to have a little bit more built up on my shoulders, so I don't slope as much. Maybe this is meant more for the average, but we'll see when we try it on. Other than that, everything looks pretty nice. Let's measure the whole thing out just so when we wash it we can check it for shrinkage. Center back length, we've got 30 inches. Chest is a little difficult to measure since I normally measure at the bottom of the armhole, and this armhole bottom is not really exactly where a typical armhole bottom would be, but using this as a estimate placement, I get 23, so a 46-inch chest and 47 on the sweep. So those all match up to what an extra large should be. Across the shoulders, 19.5, and we'll just do the back neck drop from the fictitious straight line here at the high point, and I got 3 3/4, which is right in line with what I'd like to see. Okay, so next steps is just to wear it and see how comfortable it is. Cotton tensile spandex 73 22.5, and I think we feels fairly weighty, even though it says lightweight. I would put it right at 150 GSM. Anyways, let's try it out. All right, so this is the black. This one I do have room. So a couple things, that you do notice right away, and they might settle down with use, but because my shoulders are a little bit maybe higher up, so I'm getting this extra fabric over here at the top, which you can kind of see bubbling up, and that's the shoulder slope that I mentioned, that adjusts for that. I think it looks okay generally. I can't see the back, but I assume that it's okay. The arms are all right. It's not tight around my arms. The spandex feels good. You do see some pulling over here, and that happens to do a lot, I believe, with that gusset type construction. Also, because it's a little big on me in the chest, so I'm going to get some pulling when I reach up. Actually, the closer your armhole is to your body is going to give you more mobility, but then the closer they make that to your actual arm circumference, I guess at this point, the tighter it's going to get around your bicep, and that's some type of problems we have when we're making a suit jacket. The same thing. The bigger the armhole opening is, so people can get their arm in, the more pulling you get and maneuverability, say you lose. The smaller the armhole opening, the more, once you get it on, the more comfortable it's going to feel, the more movement you're going to have without pulling, but then you have to deal with the fact that it might be tight around your bicep, and then just picking something up where you bend your arm and your suit's going to be too tight. But anyways, we'll look at suits one day in the future. We're looking at t-shirts now, and I'm going to be wearing this one today, and then Heather tomorrow, and after we wash them and measure them, we'll kind of close the chapter on DUER t-shirts and see what we think. Okay, so here we are after wash. Shirts came out of the dryer with a nice appearance. I would say that a little bit of hanging in your closet on a hanger, and there's no iron necessary. Let's see how we did on the measurements. So shoulder from point to point here, we're at right at 19. We were at 19.5 So we're just shy of 19 right now. We lost a ½ inch there. Chest, we were a little ambiguous because we don't have the right point to measure at, which typically you would do something like maybe 10 inches down from the neckline, which because we really don't have a point where the sleeve meets the side seam. Okay, so here we're at 46.5 or 46, so we were at 46 before, pretty close. Sweep, we were at 47, and right now we're at 46.5. Center back length, we had 30 inches. Kind of going off camera here, you just have to take my word for it. And 29.75. So length we maintained, width we came in, which is probably where most of the spandex is anyways, and so that's where you're going to get some of your shrinkage from that spandex relaxing. But overall, you're only losing about 2.5%. Yeah, so the black one I'd say is a perfect fit for me. You see after wash, the shoulders kind of settled down a little bit where they were poking up. Overall, I think it's a good fit, so I'm going to stick with the extra large. See what I do with DUER in the future is I guess I will do the extra large. I'm going to wear this one out throughout the day, and then we'll recap at the end as always, and so stick around. Alright, so there you have it, the 24-hour t-shirt by DUER. I really enjoyed wearing the shirt. It is super soft, very comfortable. It was kind of what I expected from it. The cotton tencel spandex is a great blend. Just other than the sizing for me, where I went up to the extra large, which may be just something that I have I've been borderline large, extra large for a while, so settling on the extra large was probably more just a better choice. For me, I do think that they need to work a little bit on the shoulder shape there to prevent the puckering here in the top of the shoulder. Maybe it's the shape of the armhole opening. But other than that, it was a good t-shirt to wear, and I really enjoyed wearing it. It was comfortable all day long, and so far the softest of all the shirts I've tried. If your company would like to make something similar to this, I work for Aurora Investments. We're a Vietnamese apparel company. We're totally vertical. We manufacture our own textiles as well as our own cut and sew. And you can reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to you about manufacturing this type of product. We make everything from activewear all the way up to tailored clothing, including better t-shirts. So please, if there's some interest there, you can go ahead and contact me. If you like my video, you found it informative, somehow useful to you, sign up for my YouTube channel. Please click the bell to get notified whenever I put out a new video. And dress smart in the meantime, and stick around. There's more coming your way. Thanks.